nonprofits and for-purpose businesses. And in the wonderful wake of Joe Biden's victory as 46th president of the United States and the survival of democracy in America, I want to take a moment and talk about a really wonderful big case study we had as a virtual event production company with an electoral security nonprofit that covers security, that brings together electoral experts to discuss, are our elections open and democratic and legitimate, and how can we protect that, and coaches other countries on that. So I'm going to just take you through a little bit of a case study on that, what we did here. So again, it was well, not again, but so what we did here was for this US election program. It was a 6-day event that happened in 6 languages, and obviously presented a lot of unique challenges because of this live human and interpretation and captioning. We had 2,493 registrations from 130 countries, which also provided a unique challenge due to internet access in, let's say, the Pacific Islands, right? So we provided phone dial-in for them. So I'm going to just talk about some of the unique things that we pulled together for what was probably our most complex virtual event ever as an agency. Like I mentioned, we had conflicting time zones, multiple languages. We needed to provide networking, social media integrations, contest, all sorts of elements to pull together and do so in just 2 months. Here's some of the speakers that attended. And so first of all, one of the main things that we do is this live production, live stream premium production, where you can see these animated lower thirds, custom branding. We actually did a lot of graphic design, including their logo here, and live switching between like one speaker and then back to all speakers, right? As well as bringing in pre-recorded video, screenshots, screen sharing, and even on the ground filming, which we'll talk about. One of the really cool things was we let people ask an elections expert with a video, audio, or written question in advance, and then let their experts feature that. And then here you see we actually sent videographers to 5 cities to film people and behind the scenes footage of in-person voting around the country and how that looked. And then lastly, we had a photo contest. This is what democracy looks like, where people could upload media and then announce awards. There's also a social media wall in the event and a few other features that we'll talk about here. So it was really fun to see their elections experts commenting on the footage of what things looked like of in-person voting, including like drive-in voting in Iowa and LA. So many different types of electronic voting and paper voting from DC to Virginia, LA, and Iowa. So it was a 6-day event in 6 languages. We also had sponsorship by Microsoft and Facebook, who presented their Defending Democracy programs, and their president, Brad Smith, gave a speech. And then, like I mentioned, we had 6 languages of real-time translation. So 5 foreign languages with Arabic, Bahasa Indonesian, French, Russian, and Spanish. These questions, or each language had its own stage where attendees could ask questions in their language, and then those questions were even translated to the panel moderators. That's sort of a rare thing. Usually if you have a foreign language event, the foreign language attendees become sort of second-class citizens, where maybe they can't interact with the chat because most of the chat is going on in English. The speakers don't speak their language. But here we set it up so the interpreters would also translate the questions. And that was a really fun element of accessibility. We mentioned this. This is what democracy looks like, photo and video contest, which was a lot of fun. And of course, the event was mobile friendly, tablet friendly, and everything. Accessibility was a really big feature for them, having governmental funding. So we made the website ADA compliant for screen reader compatibility, as well as sign language interpretation, closed captioning, and interpretation. We did a whole lot of speaker coaching, probably over a dozen training sessions, as well as 30 minutes of backstage prep before each session. A lot of graphic design, including whiteboard videos, a custom event logo, other custom graphics, the live production, which we mentioned, filming, and tech support. So this is one of the most fun things. It's custom animated whiteboard illustrated video. So we helped them with script editing, voiceover art, obviously this hand-drawn custom art by an ex-Disney animator, and put together 4 of these videos, again, all in 2 months along with the other work. So it's quite a big project on a short timeline. We're really proud to pull it off, and they were just thrilled by these videos, which we interspersed with the live video. So it's a really nice way to break up the content so it's not all talking heads throughout your event, especially if you have a longer event like they did 6 days. And just to, whiteboards do a great job of explaining complex videos in a short amount of time, grabbing people's attention through that complexity. So here's an example of the interpreted sessions. So there's a little bit of French, but we also had Bahasa, Indonesian, Arabic, Russian, and Spanish across all the sessions, and even a translated schedule. So you can see here all the session descriptions in French, Russian, Spanish, etc. Then we had a social wall, which also pulled in their Twitter feed, so they could be live tweeting around the world with their staff, sharing the whiteboard videos we made for them, screenshots from sessions, feedback from attendees, all feeding in real time with moderation. The contest brought in some really wonderful photos, professional photos that really serve the organization for years in between this electoral program every 4 years. We did all sorts of graphics, promotional graphics, in-event graphics, including per session for social, different sizes, and then promoting the whiteboards. And lastly, second to lastly, there was a interactive electoral map. So you can make your own prediction on who's going to win by clicking on different sections here. And then we had sponsor booths for Facebook and Microsoft. Really proud, of course, to have them in here. They had gotten in some trouble about, as you probably know, about electoral security, so they really needed to step it up. And part of that is sponsoring events like this and sharing what they're doing, such as Microsoft's Defending Democracy program. And they're actually taking some very impressive steps towards electoral security. So that is it. If you are looking for some advice on a virtual event of your own, then please feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to us for a virtual event strategy session, or just follow us on social media and send us a question. We're at WeAndGoliath on all the platforms. And we do full service, end-to-end virtual event consulting. We've been doing digital marketing for 20 years and bring a lot of that experience into our events. So I hope you enjoyed this quick virtual event case study. And again, if you are interested, just reach out to us at weandgoliath.com for a free virtual event strategy session. You'll sit with me face-to-face on the Zoom, talk about your virtual event needs, and see if we're a good fit to support your organization. We recently just did an MLK conference for the AFL-CIO. Very proud and happy to help with that event, and just signed on a UN agency for a human rights event. So doing some really amazing things. Very proud to be doing work with such great organizations, and would love to hear from you about your needs.